Namaste. Welcome back, beautiful souls, to Monday Marseille. And today I am featuring the squid cake Marseille. And because this is being recorded on the day of a full moon, I've decided to speak to questions and themes that I like to feature during the full moon. These are not from any particular clients this week. These are just great questions to ask within the 72 hours of the full moon. And the first one is what to honor at this time? What might I celebrate or recognize about myself? Maybe that I am not even aware of is deserving of recognition, because the full moon is a time both of honoring and releasing, and we'll get to that second part in the next question. The first thing that came to mind was I am a defender of truth. Perhaps I have a voice that is worthy of being heard, recognized. Maybe I am the one to take the podium this time, or be the one to step into the role of MC. There's something here about my voice that is worthy of stepping forth, stepping up. And I know that the nights take us on journeys. Interesting, in this deck, she doesn't use, there's no French words, it's all in English. And we have another court card here. The King of Cups is gazing at the Knight of Swords. Just going to put the other card down here. Okay, so what is worthy of honoring, recognizing at this time? And I also want to acknowledge this full moon is in Scorpio. The energy of Scorpio can get us looking at patterns and things which we have swept underneath the carpet, indeed. So, why is the King of Cups looking rather dubiously at the Knight of Swords? And the Knight of Swords is gazing beyond. Quirky little expressions in this deck, and I will make note of them. And yet, I also want to honor the integrity and the fullness of energy of each of these quartz symbolically. I'm up for this challenge. And I feel like the King of Cups may be toasting you, saying, yeah, you've got this, and I'm sitting here listening to you. Let's express this, or let you express this to the fullest. Remember that the King of Cups is also you. You are definitely worthy of this. Do you have an opportunity at this time to stand in front of the class, so to speak? Now, I'm curious about this card, which is behind your back. And what is behind your back is justice. And that makes kind of a beautiful story, that you are ready to speak up for your own truth, your own justice. You are, and I want to expand that word too, because justice, of course, is not just legal justice, but this is an adjustment that you've been wanting to make in your life for some time. You no longer need to be silent. You no longer need to allow others to take center stage. I feel like the King of Cups really is looking at you and saying something truly supportive. You don't need to hide in the background. And perhaps if you look at the Justice card more as a karmic pattern, that this is a tendency or something that you have been working really hard to do better at. So I want to say, you go for it. You step into that position where others will turn an ear, and maybe even sit and watch you as intently as the King of Cups is. All right, so the advice is to honor and celebrate your voice, to be the one to step to the front and share your thoughts, and your heart as well. And I love that integration of suits because, as many of you know, the suit of cups and the suit of swords over the years have been interchangeable as far as elements go. All right, so we're looking here at the Seven of Cups. And there is a cup in the center that is being protected. It's almost like the cup at the top center is being sent away, is being released. I feel like something is holding space for that which you, it's almost like I can see the release here. These three cups hold space, and these are the guards, and then you are releasing. So emotionally, so let's look at the number 7. This is a big number. It's loaded with associations. It can be magical, it can be Venusian, it can be building energy, it can be a 4 plus 3. But here we're looking at a really interesting configuration. You don't need to fear what you are releasing, because there's other parts or people or hearts that are standing up for you and with you, providing courage and strength, so that you can let go. And Two of Coins is such a brilliant card to have here. Now, I love that these are all minors. It tells me that it won't be that hard to let go of this. It's not something archetypal that you've been hanging on to for a long time. And the Two of Coins is a brilliant card of change, and it's really great to be here, symbolic of the letting go energy. And you have the 9 of Coins. So you've got 2 coin cards on either side of a cup card. This is very receptive energy, fits really nicely with a lunar reading. And so it feels almost like a hug in a way. And the 9 of Coins tells me that you've been doing really well. And there is no need to be afraid to let go a little bit. It's like the 2 of Coins perhaps is nudging the energy of the 9 of Coins. You have more than enough. So the question was, what am I ready to release that I may not be aware of? Well, there's something emotional that you have been protecting. And if I look closely at the 7 of Cups, there is definitely a cup in the center that is being protected. You could even say that the cup top center is holding it back. So this is a powerful emotional release. And if I go to Venusian associations, and I'm thinking here that it's older, this emotion. It is connected to maybe even the little you time. Maybe it's a pattern that you've been keeping for decades and decades. I don't know how many decades old you are, but there's something that's opening up here and flowering and making space. It's not a big opening, but this emotion is wanting to come forth. And there may be a baby, like a little emotion, right? If I look at this one as the first step and then this one comes forth, this one is still kind of deeply within this womb here, but this one will go on its way, and you have all this protection around you. So I feel like this is going to come in stages, and it is so ready. So, what could this be about for you? If I listen to my inner guidance, I feel as if there is a fear of going forth. And I don't know whether this is about a move or a leave of some kind. Have you been staying and choosing not to go forth? And why the nine? And why the nine of coins? So this is an interesting combination. I think it's an acknowledgement that I don't like to use the word hoarding to say you've been hoarding, but you've been guarding. Let's use that verb instead. You've been guarding that which is nearest and dearest to you, and you will feel a lot lighter if you begin to open up. And because there are so many coins in the card on the right, I wonder if the token or the symbolic way to begin letting go is by sharing actually something physical that you have. Maybe this is a donation, a gift to a friend, something that you have been clinging to, longing to let go of. And if we go into any Scorpio associations, maybe you do have a tendency to hold on to things. And so symbolically donating or gifting something to a friend or something, someone you love, or a favorite charity or thrift store, that this might be the way to begin. The full moon illuminates that which prefers to lurk in the darkness. And so this question can be really helpful um, in bringing awareness to something that needs paying attention to. A new vision, a new project, a new path, a new direction. The Page of Wands is ready to begin quite energetically. Is there something you've always wanted to do, and for some reason or another, it's you felt like it's silly, or it's doesn't really serve a purpose? Why might you need to take a more youthful approach, playful approach, lighthearted approach to something that's been on the back burner? Can you think of anything? Well, so all about the court cards today. The Knight of Coins is behind you. And I feel like the Knight of Coins is a bit lethargic here. Maybe you are moving on from the Knight of Coins. Your back is to the Knight of Coins. It feels like the Page of Baton is quite energetic. The Page of Baton is full of life and vivacity, and the Knight of Coins tends to take things step by step, and you're ready to move a little more quickly here. So, I would say that the full moon is illuminating a time, a period, a readiness to take a little more action in your life. And the Page of Baton is looking at the same card, interesting, that we had in the last reading. All of these coins, 9 of them. Now let's look at the arrangement. There is a feature in the center, a feature coin, and there are a lot of opportunities here. And we have a card that feels like it's at the beginning of the path, and a card that is much further down the road. So I would say that the full moon is illuminating the possibilities are even greater than you have imagined. Maybe you have been thinking too small, that the potential for what you have been ruminating over is way more significant. There will be reward, fruitfulness. I mean, you can fill in the blank there. There's a real fullness to it. And I think a satisfaction in the material world, in this everyday experience. So get going. And I kind of love that this Knight of Coins is at your back. Maybe the Knight of Coins will cheer you on, but I think you will. I can see like in a race, and you start moving way ahead of the Knight of Coins, and then will come a point where you can no longer hear the cheering of the Knight of Coins, but they will always be there, being your best cheerleader. It did serve a purpose for a while to be a little more methodical, but now it's time to step up and to go forth at a little faster pace. And I think you will, if you can embrace that, you will see the reward of that sooner than you imagine or plan on. Hmm. Okay, so these are all practice readings today, but I think it's really important to remember that with the Tarot de Marseille, you can dive into these types of questions as well. And as always, I look forward to your feedback. Take good care. Namaste.